Hello, I am doing technology in the 20th century. So I'm gonna take technology and intertwine that with kind of inventions because I think the term technology is very broad. So 1900s, the vacuum cleaner. This was one of the first cheap, accessible household electronic cleaning devices. We have air conditioning. This is when the standard of human living conditions improved. First, airplane. So this was a massive step in transportation. It was a huge supplement to the military. And it was great for the people, obviously. This was definitely one of the greater technological advances of the 1900s and the 20th century as a whole. So why is this century important? This was the first decade of a new, ever-evolving era. This era definitely is one with a lot of dumb man-made mistakes, amazing creations, and terrifying discoveries. The standard of human living conditions is becoming less about survival and more about comfort, even for the poor and more common folk. Next, we have the 1910s. This era was important as inventors are now beginning to realize the scale in which they can make stuff. Women are beginning to have more freedom in their fashion sense thanks to the invention of the bra and hair dryer. The ocean is becoming an ever-increasing topic of interest thanks to the invention of sonar. 1920s, the Roaring Twenties. First on the list we have hearing aids. First time people with a major disability such as being deaf now have a shot at a normal, unsubsidized life. Next we have the pop-up toaster. The household is changing yet again. Appliances are becoming safer, quicker, and cheaper. So why is the Roaring Twenties important? Now that it's the Roaring Twenties, people are all about commodity. They want stuff done fast, efficient, and quickly. People who aren't in the norm are being enabled to fit in better thanks to hearing aids, and the common household is changing yet again. The 1930s, Scotch tape, which is being invented. Tape didn't exist beforehand to the best of my research skills. We have the jet engine. We can now travel farther, faster. Military loves this. Great improvement since the first flight over 30 years ago. We have the electron microscope. This led to the discovery of a billion other things and helped scientists figure out areas they otherwise would have dreamed of. The electric guitar. Music is changing dramatically. People want different style. Suntan lotion. People didn't really understand skin cancer back then. I think it speaks for itself. So why are the 30s important? A lot happened during this decade. Now stuff was being invented years ago is being modified and improved upon. Music is an up-and-coming idea that is being spread from churches to people to an actual industry. Scientists are making huge strides and people are again changing the standard of beauty and fun. 1940s. So this was when the first nuclear reactor was built. Energy is becoming more efficient, cheaper, and cleaner. Scientists are going absolutely bonkers about this stuff, let me tell you. Mobile phone, not an iPhone, it's like a brick kind of thing. General purpose computer. People have gigantic computers. They really weren't efficient yet. This is a major step to get to where we are today. So why are the 40s important? This decade is not only recovering from a massive war, but fighting yet another one. However, energy is coming and changing at lightning speeds, and the way people communicate is being revolutionized. Phones are more and more common in people's homes. Computers are being established, setting up the rest of the century for great success. 1950s, the pill. Massive, major strides in women's reproductive health, rights, and sexual freedom. Car seat belts. People are gonna die now thanks to the seatbelt. Cars are becoming faster, more dangerous, more popular, and someone figured out that we needed to do something about that. Cars were previously for the wealthier, but now that a lot more people have one, they're becoming like spread throughout the system. They're gonna have to be regulated. Structurally modified vaccines. Someone figured out that viruses mutate and become immune to certain vaccines, so now doctors can modify them and fight them with these vaccines. So why were the 50s important? The 50s were an interesting time. They were in the middle of a major changing decade. People were caught in war. Vaccines and seatbelts played a huge role in this decade as people are starting to care about life, quality of human life, etc., etc., etc. 1960! First man in space and the first man on the moon. This was a massive thing that happened during the 1960s. This was arguably the greatest feat of the 20th century and arguably even to this day. We went from flight to jets to satellites to rockets to people in rockets to actually physically walking on a different rock. Next we have the portable calculator. Now people can do math in their pockets. Internet, and we're online. Huge, major, massive technological advancement. Why is this important? Huge, massive, major year for the world. The Vietnam War and the heat of the Cold War have led to the world to fight for dominating positions. The United States, of course, pulled out all the stops and invented some pretty crazy crap. The biggest event in human invention, exploration, innovation discovery ever took place here. Really, this was an impressive decade. 1907, floppy disk. Now people can transport information and entertainment. Huge cultural change. Genetic engineering, huge in regards to crop yield and testing chemicals on crops. Major time for science, as now we can virtually change not just food, but now people, animals. It's honestly kind of scary. Apple won! Apple, the biggest company in the world, started in this decade. Why is this important? The 70s led to many great advancements in the future decades thanks to the works of the inventors and scientists here. Digital technology is beginning to hit the mainstream market and people are getting excited. 1980s, the abortion pill. So women's rights, similar to the contraceptive pill, are completely liberated. The Macintosh computer, Apple's second creation, blows them into the spotlight. The world becomes a little smaller thanks to people starting to become more and more connected. World Wide Web, now everyone's online. What could go wrong? Why are the 80s important? The music is becoming very much mainstream. The invention of the Macintosh computer helped establish computer technology as we think of it today. And finally, the 1990s. The Hubble telescope, another major achievement in space, great for the entire world and helps to protect us even today against threatening asteroids. This is definitely on the list of man's greatest achievements, especially in the space category. PlayStation, the lives of 10-year-olds has never been the same since the invention of the video games on a large scale. MP3 player, music is now in the common folks' pocket. Cultural standards are changing yet again. So why are the 90s important? This is the most recent of decades to our current time of 2121. This decade was a time of massive cultural revolution for the youth, as a billion-dollar industry is being founded around them during this same time. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. I know that it's almost the end of the year. Good luck on your finals.